I mean, I think the scary thing initially signing onto it was worrying that I was going to be compared to, you know, the Kurt Russell character in the original, which is nothing like my character. So I kind of had to just let that go and not worry about it.
Damn it, child, torch it! Burn it! Burn it! Yeah, fuck you too!
The Thing is a masterclass in paranoia, body horror, and groundbreaking practical effects. The Thing, 2011, is a disappointing mess. A film once marketed as a prequel to the horror classic from 1982, with a return to intricate, grand-scale practical effects and animatronics, has since been regarded as a pointless, bland, shoddy remake due to studio interference. The film famously had most of its practical work glossed over with terrible CGI last minute, leaving most audiences with a bad taste in their mouth. It's a shame too, as the team behind the effects, Amalgamated Dynamics, has quite the resume, working on effect-heavy films such as Tremors, Jumanji, Starship Troopers, Scary Movie 3, and of course, Wild Hogs, my father's favorite movie.
Searching alternative sex. 2 million websites found.
What? GrannyLove.org. Want Granny to take her teeth out?
But as a few videos have gone on to mention, it wasn't the CGI that killed this film. At least, not totally. Lack of originality and falling into the standard pitfalls of prequel-sequel remakes shine brightly in this adaptation, where entire scenes are dedicated to harkening back to the original and zapping all sense of mystery from existence. Like, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you fucking remember this? The Thing, 2011, is the prime example of this. Repeating exact characters, story beats, and even entire fucking scenes just straight ripped from the original film. So it asks the question, why was this film even made? For money? Well, yeah, pretty much. But the production wasn't entirely cynical. A ton of love went into the production of this film by both the cast and crew, especially director Mathis Van Hennigan Jr., who claims The Thing is his favorite film, walking around set with stills from the film on his laptop while shooting. You can fucking tell. And of course, the effects department over at Amalgamated Dynamics, who fell in love and were inspired by Rob Bottin's innovative and groundbreaking work in the '82 film. But we all know how that goes. In addition to the CGI glossover, studio-mandated reshoots pushed back the release from April to October in order to enhance existing sequences or to make crystal clear a few story beats. You can fucking tell. That is why this film is so disappointing. There were some good intentions behind this project, but due to a lousy script and studio interference, we got a middle-of-the-road, sometimes in the ditch film. At the very least, we could have gotten a schlocky prequel that had some cool practical effects and fun kills, but we don't even get that. Let's take a look at what could have been in this prequel from 2011, The Thing. Shall we? Now, before we get started, I just need to bring this up. This is the official poster for this film on IMDb. Here's the Blu-ray. Notice anything about these images? It's fucking Bennings from the '82 film. He isn't in this movie, and no one ever gets assimilated into a version of this creature, so why the fuck is it the main poster? Drives me nuts. Anyways, the film begins with some establishing shots of Antarctica in the winter of 1982, mere days before the events of the first film. I wonder what will happen to our characters by the end of the film, A strange electromagnetic signal leads these Norwegians even further out to the middle of nowhere to investigate said signal. During what could have been a tense scene of scientific discovery of alien life form, we get an incest joke about a little boy fucking his grandma.
Faen, lille Sven, ligg oppå farmor. Og så snur han seg mot far sin, og så sier han, ikke så artig når det er du egen mor, er det vel?
I guess all those porno ads were telling the truth. There are horny gilfs in your area wanting to fuck. They just happen to be related to you.
Want Granny to take her teeth out?
Their Norwegians suddenly stop, as they appear to be directly on top of the signal, until... The ice cracks open, sending the team down a massive crevasse, landing on the front windshield and wedged between the two sheets of ice. They flick the headlights on, revealing the massive alien ship that has been trapped underneath the ice for thousands of years. The title card burns through like the original, only this time made in After Effects. We are then introduced to Kate, who eventually becomes our MacReady equivalent by the end of the film, inspecting a frozen ice bear. Kate, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Hey, Mary, can I call you Mary?
Bonjour.
Love your work. Listen, I know you're married to Ewan McGregor and all, and that's fine, but if you ever change your mind, here's my number. Just hit me up whenever. I am literally always available.
Je ne peux pas sentir ma peau.
Okay. Just, let me know.
Je vais vous regarder avec mes dents.
Anyways, going back to the MacReady comparisons, Kurt Russell and Mary Elizabeth Winstead have, in a way, been in 3 of the same movies. The first of which was Disney's Sky High from 2005, and only 2 years later they would meet again in Tarantino's Death Proof. Although, they have a more spiritual connection in 2011's The Thing, as while Kurt Russell isn't technically in this movie, his character surely is. Kate listens to the song Who Can It Be Now by Men at Work, a song about paranoia and the mistrust of others. Sounds familiar. Until she's interrupted by whom I'm told to be named Adam Finch, as well as...
I'm Dr. Sander Helverson.
Kate Lloyd.
Yes. Do you know who I am?
Hold up. Okay, am I fucking crazy? Does he look like an evil version of Ewan McGregor to anyone else? Maybe it's because of the Mary Elizabeth connection, but I swear it's almost fucking uncanny. Anyways, it's revealed that Kate specializes in vertebrate paleontology and has experience extracting specimen from packed ice, something that could be very helpful in the near future. Evil McGregor tells Kate about the find in Antarctica and how they need a paleontologist.
Doctor, I'm sure you can understand that I need to know a little bit about what it is I'm being asked to dig up.
There's a structure.
A structure?
Moments like this are fine, probably some of the better parts of the movie, honestly. Although I think it would have been more interesting if we learned this information with Kate from the get-go, since she's established pretty quickly as our main character, rather than the Norwegians in the beginning, but whatever.
In Antarctica.
And a specimen. That's all I can tell you.
Intrigued, Kate eventually agrees to go on the mission. I found this interesting leaked trailer for Comic-Con that shows an alternate version of this opening, with Kate meeting Adam at a coffee shop who tells her about the find instead.
We are going to Antarctica.
What do they find?
I can't say.
Adam.
You're putting together bones in a museum. What I'm offering you here is an opportunity to get in the field and do something big.
Do you actually know what it is?
No.
Huh. Giving more backstory and character developments? Why was this cut? Like, what happened? Well, apparently, the film originally had a slow boil pace, so the studio demanded those reshoots after poor test audience reactions. Many of the scenes to be cut or reshot to be shorter were, you guessed it, character development scenes. Great idea, studio. We can fucking tell. We meet back with Kate and crew in a helicopter, as Carter, who also becomes a MacReady equivalent by the end of the film, asks Kate to put her headset on. There's more attempted humor, as Carter has some pressing questions.
I want to know how the Cavaliers are doing.
I don't follow football.
This basketball team.
Aren't women so fucking stupid? Carter also eventually becomes kind of a romantic interest in this film later too. It's really weird, but they keep it ambiguous enough.
This basketball team. They play basketball. Barely.
Sorry I couldn't help you.
That's all right.
After enough mansplaining, Carter informs the team that there's a winter storm approaching and that they should wrap up the investigation in a couple days. This tracks as the 1982 film, which also has a winter storm, takes place in a couple days. They take a brief stop at the Norwegian camp, then shuttle their way over to the dig site, which... Hold on, this isn't right. In the 1982 film, they were reviewing footage of the initial investigation, where the Norwegians set charges and detonated the ice, revealing the massive structure. Why is it just a tiny hole in the ice now? If you're gonna make a prequel, at least remain consistent to the source material. As they travel further into the cave, passing over crevasses, we are introduced to even more Norwegians who I am starting to lose track of, until Kate witnesses why they traveled all these miles to get here.
We estimate it's been here approximately 100,000 years. We picked up a signal. It was a meeting.
The Norwegians believe the signal was a distress call, transmitted when the survivor exited the craft, leading us to that famous block of ice from the original. But this time, we get to see what happened before it got out of the ice. Evil McGregor asks how long it'll take to carve out, to which Kate says half a day. Perfect. The team makes it back to the base and begins discussing logistics on how to get it out of the ice. But there's a couple things that instantly jump out to me. One, Kate is almost like too pretty for this movie. It's a little distracting. But then again, Kurt Russell's in the original and he's almost too pretty for that movie, so I guess I'll let this one slide. And two, there are far too many people in this camp to keep track of. And this actually highlights one of the major problems with this film. Most of these characters don't feel like real people. In the original, the characters were introduced with, characteristics. While not completely fleshing out the characters, you at least get a sense of what everyone is like. McCready doesn't take bullshit and likes to drink. Palmer, blue-collared stoner. Knowles, loose and carefree. Clark identifies with the dogs more than people. In the prequel, characters just feel like a list of names and occupations that will eventually get killed by the Thing. It reminds me of the novella Who Goes There, where over 40 people inhabit the base camp and most of them are fucking useless. Literally just there to add to the body count rather than be actual characters. The characters we are officially introduced to end up taking larger roles as the film goes on, such as Peter.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Peter?
Nice to meet you.
And this character, who Kate inquires about.
Oh, that's Lars. Doesn't understand English, but he'll work like a bear.
I wonder who that character is supposed to be imitating.
I love hearing my dog whimper and scream while I rub his big red clitoris. Oh, my doggy loves it. Look how happy he is.
This brings me to my next point. Even the characters that are more focused on play out more like archetypes than actual characters. We have evil scientist man, blank slate protagonist, possible love interest, woman. You may not see it yet, but you surely will as the film progresses. The next day, the Norwegians bring the ice block back to the base, introducing the first instance of imitating the iconography from the original film. As Kate and crew take measurements, Evil McGregor barges in, saying he wants to take a tissue sample.
Do you really think that's a good idea?
Yes, I do.
That settles it. Drill away, Kenobi. Kate pushes back, saying that the conditions are unpredictable, and that lack of proper equipment and sterilization stands as issues. Evil McGregor ignores Kate's expertise, instead beckoning for a drill. Kate leaves the room, allowing Evil McGregor to establish his archetype of asshole scientist who values the achievement and mission more than the safety and concern of the human lives around him.
In the future, don't contradict me in front of those people again.
I just thought it.
You're not here to think. You're here to get the Thing safely out of the ice.
Got it! Despite Kate's best judgment, the team drills into the solid ice, pulling out a flesh sample. Then celebrates with some brews in the rec center. Evil McGregor gives a speech, saying that he has never seen anything on a cellular level like what they unburied in the ice, and that the impact of this find will be felt for thousands of years. Something the world has been forever altered as we know it. Oh shit, look, the ice is melting. That must not be good. Blah 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 blah.
You, my friends, will all be immortalized as the people who made this discovery.
I wonder if he's gonna make irrational decisions that will make the situation exponentially worse as the film goes on. The crew shoots the shit while shooting the shots as one of the characters, Derek is his name, I guess, goes to check out the ice block again. Which, to be fair, I think a lot of people would do, because realistically, this is a truly fucking monumental discovery and genuinely interesting.
Boom! Jesus!
Were you expecting that? I sure was. I hate this for a number of reasons. For one, it's just lazy, and it establishes that the movie doesn't take itself seriously where it needs to. The 82 film never made a joke of the Thing, despite the bits of humor found within the film.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
It respected it. Here, it can't set up a truly isolated and claustrophobic feeling because it never allows the audience to take it seriously enough. It's very frustrating. While, yes, there is a jump scare in the 82 film, it fucking earns it. It isn't a fake out and genuinely gets the plot going. It's necessary for the film during that moment, re-establishing that the Thing will lash out when cornered, that the hot needle trick works, and definitively establishing McCready as the leader for the rest of the film. The way it builds up to and fleshes out is so natural and convincing, you don't even have time to react, just like the characters in the situation. That's not the case here. And to make matters worse... Yeah, 2 jump scares within 30 seconds of each other. I love it. Except this time, it actually has some purpose. Now the Thing is out of the ice, rummaging into the attic of the building. Derek runs into the rec room, shouting,
"It broke out!"
with, surprise, no one taking him seriously. He finally convinces everyone that he's telling the truth as they all go to investigate. Giving us some repeated iconography from the original again, the crew splits up into groups to look for the thing, coming across some scenes that I glossed over earlier, like this character, Griggs, going to the helicopter to get some liquor when the thing escaped from the ice block. And Lars's dog, who was also killed and most likely assimilated. Do I hear sequel bait? These two random Norwegian dudes eventually spot it underneath the building. And hey, wait, this looks pretty good. What was everyone talking about when they said the CGI is bad? I mean... Oh. Never mind. I'll go over this in a minute, don't worry. The nameless Norwegian guy gets attacked and sucked under the building, with the others screaming for help.
Somebody! Over here! What's going on? It attacked Henrik!
Oh, I guess his name is Henrik. The rest of the crew make it over, who all start shooting their little pistols at it, which is deemed to be slightly effective. At this point in the original, the thing begins assimilating the dogs, so the crew torches it with a flamethrower. But this film differs by only having pistols, so surely they'll find another...
You're gonna burn that fucker, man! Burn it!
Ah, nope. Never mind. They just burn it to the ground as well. This is the beginning of the film directly lifting scenes from the original, tweaking a portion of it, and calling it a day. It's not a remake. Oh no, it's a prequel, even though half the scenes in this film are in the original, but just worse now. After extinguishing the thing, the crew reconvenes back inside. In an attempt to give some characterization to someone that's already fucking dead, woman number 2 lets us know that Henrik had 2 small children.
Henrik had 2 small children.
Wow. Thanks, movie. Now I care about this blank character whom they spent no time setting up and whose sole purpose was to be part of the kill count. Yippee!
And this is what I mean by the characters being less memorable. Henrik was so unremarkable, I didn't even introduce him to you before just now. Seems like he was just there to add another body to the kill count.
Evil McGregor builds upon his archetype, saying that while yes, it was a tragedy, they still need to study the remains, reminding everyone of the importance of this discovery.
This may be the first and only time mankind has been visited by an alien life form. And scientists, we're obliged to study it.
We get it, bro. Just let everyone breathe for a second. Jesus Christ. Carter barges into the room, giving his best Kurt Russell impression, fighting for the look and role of MacReady now.
I think you should destroy it.
Completely.
Carter goes on to say that Olaf is in bad shape, and that they're going to take him to a military hospital in the morning.
And what are you going to tell them?
I'm going to tell them the truth. As crazy as it sounds.
The Norwegians then wheel in the charred remains of the thing, leading us to the autopsy scene, which is also lifted from the original. To give this movie some credit, the effects in this scene are pretty fucking good, actually. Kate is finally given something to do, and helps Evil McGregor pull apart what seems to be a ribcage of the thing, with these absolutely disgusting practical effects. And I mean that in a good way. While this does basically mimic the scene from the original, I think it stands up to it, at least in comparison to the rest of the film. This is what we could have had, and it's such a fucking shame that the studio had them cover up most of the effects with CGI. It really is. Inside the corpse, they find Henrik encased in some kind of amniotic sac, and after cutting it open, deduce that it was absorbing him.
It's fascinating. It is fascinating.
Does he have visceralism or something? Put your fucking pants on, bro. There's also this weird brief scene with Griggs and woman number 2, who waddles away to the bathroom as her entire uterus attempts to expel itself from her body. And I am only half joking. Do I even have to tell you why I'm mentioning this particular interaction? Now we're back with Kate, who is dissecting the thing, and notices something peculiar.
What is this?
Looks like a titanium plate.
As it turns out, the thing is unable to absorb inorganic material, like this titanium plate from when you break your arm. Instead, it rejects it.
So if this was in his arm, what's it doing out of him now?
It's a good question.
This plot point is so close to being a great idea for the logic of the film that it actually makes me a little mad. But once you pick it apart, it doesn't really make any sense, and there's a great scene to exemplify this that I'll touch on later. Later on in the lab, we get yet another scene pulled from the original. Kate examines a sample of Henrik's tissue, discovering that the alien cells are beginning to imitate the cells of Henrik completely.
Okay, I don't know if that's what I'm seeing, but
They're imitating him.
Mr. Herring walks around the corner, looking like a disease-riddled leper, as gift-giving Carter leaves Manic Pixie Dream Girl Kate, with a goodbye. There's some more ambiguous semi-sexual tension in the scene too, leaving Kate with a longing glance as Carter heads outside. The boys board up the helicopter, which, surely, will go completely as planned. Kate washes up in the bathroom, noticing what appears to be teeth fillings on the ground. And why is this shower full of blood? It's not that time of the month. Or is it? Wait, the thing can't mimic inorganic material. That must mean Kate rushes outside, desperately trying to flag down the boys, who must be freezing her ass off right now. Carter notices Kate flagging him down, and trusting his maybe possibly romantic interest, decides to land the helicopter.
Is there something wrong?
No, everything's fine.
The leper starts shaking violently as Griggs tells him everything is going to be alright. But we know it isn't. This is a Thing movie. So, let's see the leper's grand transformation. Oh, wait, the leper isn't the Thing? Classic misdirection. Okay, movie, I see you. Let's get a look at... God fucking damn it. This is the first time within the movie that the CGI is on full display, showing how egregiously bad these effects are. And they somehow get worse. Even more disappointing is the behind the scenes for this particular effect, where a combination of a bodysuit and animatronics showed us what this scene could have been. Would you actually believe that his face is being ripped in half? Of course not. Just like you don't actually believe the dog in the original's face is being split open, but the difference is, you know on set that it did split open. It invokes a more visceral feeling, actually connecting you to the situation. When you gloss over everything with CGI, it inherently hinders that experience. Would the practical effects have improved this scene? Probably, but also maybe not. I guess we'll never know. Also, the Thing loves to just randomly reveal itself here, attacking and transforming for no particular reason. In the 82 film, it would only move in and reveal itself if it was alone with the other members of the crew, or if it was cornered and defending itself, such as the blood test scene or the defibrillator scene. Here? Oh, we're just going back down? You know what, fuck it, let's transform. You could say this is a form of self-defense, assuming the Thing somehow knew that Kate figured its mechanics out, and knowing that they're coming back down would lead to the others exposing it. I suppose that could make sense if you use the original novella's version of the Thing, where it was also literally telepathic, but they never established that in this movie. So this whole sequence is just... stupid? I've seen arguments online that the Thing learns to conceal itself more after wiping out the Norwegians, and that's why it's smarter and sneakier in the 82 film. And sure, this could make sense, but inevitably leads to a Thing that is dumber and clumsier in this movie, making the Thing inherently less scary and less effective. Anyways, Griggs splits open and unleashes a blast of tentacle-looking things at the leper, causing the chopper to go out of control as Kate can do nothing but watch from the ground. The helicopter eventually crash lands behind this mountain, seemingly sealing the fate of Kate's kind of boyfriend. A little later on, we get another scene lifted from the original, where we now learn that the radio lines are down as the snowstorm approaches. The crew also can't get to the crash site, as the other helicopter is currently refueling at a nearby base. They're isolated. This also appears to be part of the studio-mandated reshoots I mentioned earlier, as alternate deleted scenes show this go down a little differently.
I repeat, this is Tool Station. Come in, over.
Try the American base.
This is Tool Station. Calling Outpost 31. Urgent, come in, over.
I like the tone and atmosphere from the deleted scene quite a lot, actually. It does come off more as a slow-boiled, dread-inducing, claustrophobic nightmare. It's times like this that I would love to see what they originally had in mind before the studio came by and tampered with production. Some of the other random deleted scenes make sense as to why they were cut, but some would have actually improved the movie.
I'm kind of a superstitious guy, so if, I'm gonna put some kind of like green man with...
It's true. Yeah. It's true.
I'll point them out when we get there. Kate wanders back to the bathroom, noticing that the blood has been cleaned up. Seems like the janitorial staff is working overtime. Or is it something else? Eva McGregor continues to put the Discovery over the lives and safety of the crew, but is shut down by the other Norwegians as they get ready to call in backup from a nearby base. Kate intervenes, attempting to fill McCready's position and take control of the situation, saying that no one can leave the camp. She brings up Henrik's cells being copied and completely assimilated by the Thing's cells, replicating them, pointing to Adam, who witnessed this earlier.
I don't know. I don't know what we saw. We saw something.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? You do know what you saw, you pedantic fucking weasel. Some more forced tension forces Kate to bluntly lay it all out there.
This thing can, and probably has, replicated a person.
Everyone starts freaking out, Evil McGregor scolding her, until she pulls out the teeth fillings, dropping the bomb. She fills them in on the fillings on the floor and the now cleaned up blood in the shower, meaning that the Thing is still here somewhere, or that woman number 2 has a really heavy flow.
It can clone cells, but not inorganic material. It couldn't copy these, so it spit them out.
We wasted too much time already. Lars!
Listen!
After making a pretty compelling argument, Edvard, yes, that's his name, and the Norwegians pack up their gear anyways, knocking Kate down a peg.
Well done.
Tensions begin to rise as woman number 2 informs Kate that she witnessed Colin coming out of the shower with rags in his hands, saying that he may have been the one to clean up the blood, and that it totally wasn't her changing her diva cup. Colin, who just so happened to be eavesdropping on the entire conversation, leaves to join the Norwegians.
He's leaving with Edward. We can't let him go. We can't let any of them go.
Woman number 2 says she knows where they keep the keys to the vehicle, leading us to a scene with them completely alone, looking for keys that don't exist.
You said there were 5?
Oh, that's right. Woman number 2 is a thing. Turns out it was a shape-shifting alien creature causing all those menstrual cramps this entire time. We get some pretty haunting sound design of the thing vocalizing through her, sounding like she's still almost in there somewhere, which is truly a terrifying concept. Yet again, the behind the scenes for this design looked pretty fucking cool, but yet again, it was all covered up last minute. Chase time, Kate and the thing duke it out, throwing shelves and jumping desks, leading us out to the hallway.
Someone's chasing me!
Thingified woman number 2 bursts through the wall and just absolutely fucking murks this random blonde dude. Kate slams the door, meeting up with some of the other crew members, telling them, you know what would help in this situation? That's right, a flamethrower. Lars arrives on the scene already strapped, prepared to douse the motherfucker as Kate opens the door, where we see the thingified woman number 2 devouring Carl. This entire shot was completely altered with CGI, even changing the fundamental design of the creature. God, it makes me so fucking angry. Just light this fucker.
Torch it! Burn it!
Lars sets woman number 2 ablaze, who scrambles into the kitchen attempting to extinguish itself. Lars lights it again, and under any other circumstance would be considered a war criminal. It eventually dies, leading us to some more familiar iconography as the remaining crew torch the remains in the snow. But wait, whatever happened to Carl? Well, in this deleted scene, we get to find out. Norwegian number 5 puts out the burnt corpse while Kate remembers about Carl just like I did. Kate and crew follow a trail of blood into an office, discovering an almost completely assimilated Carl. A distorted howl escapes its mouth, and without hesitation, Lars torches it. Why wasn't this in the movie? It does so much, tying up loose ends of characters just disappearing from the rest of the film, while also establishing for the audience and characters just how quick the assimilation process is. It adds more stakes and ramps up paranoia, putting everyone even more on their toes. Such a shame that this was cut. Anyways, back to the not deleted scenes. Kate and crew are back outside, showing an unburnt Carl next to the thing. Kerosene is poured on the corpses as Kate takes center stage, reiterating what it's capable of.
It attacks its prey. Copies it perfectly, and then hides inside it.
Is it still among us?
Kate likens the thing to a virus, with Adam chiming in that they need to quarantine and kill it off. Sounds familiar. Evan McGregor starts making some sense, saying,
Exposing our uncontaminated blood to the cells of the creature might create a reaction of some kind.
Interestingly enough, this is actually lifted from the novella. It's a little more convoluted in the novella, involving a dog and some blood transfusion shit, but I like the route this movie went with the concept. Oh yeah, they attempt to do this in the original too. I forgot to mention that part.
We could take a sample of each person's blood. Could mix it with uncontaminated blood. I suppose if there's a reaction, we'd know who isn't human.
Evan McGregor and Adam set out to conduct the test as Kate and Lars disable all the vehicles. During a moment of tension, Lars shows Kate the grenade crate, eventually becoming her little sidekick throughout the rest of the movie. I actually like their dynamic. It's as if he is more dog than human. Edvard makes an appearance, adding some more tension until they leave for the cabin. Upon making their way back, the Americans show back up again. I know he's your instant boring boyfriend or whatever.
Adoring boyfriend.
Oh!
I thought it's
it's yet to be decided if it's boring or not.
But I would instantly torch these motherfuckers. Crash landed a helicopter miles away and walked all the way back in an Antarctic winter storm? Fuck that shit, bye. Luckily, some of the other crew members have the same thoughts I do.
It's impossible for a human to survive that crash. We should burn them.
Kate intervenes, however, saying that it could be murder. She suggests locking them up until Evil McGregor's test is ready, and if they come back positive, to take care of them then. Oh, Kate, so level-headed, aren't you? Or is it a tweaking of the scene in the 82 film of McCready coming back to camp after everyone assumed he got assimilated by the thing, ramping up paranoia and uncertainty? A plot point so effective, they do it twice. Inside the lab, Adam and Evil McGregor prepare the tests, with some pretty decent visual storytelling, instilling some more paranoia. Now we're back with Kate and Lars, who just finished locking the Americans in the shack. Carter goes on to say that they need their help, and that locking them in here is a stupid idea, similar to when they locked Blair away in the 80s film. Carter stands up, with our dog boy Lars shoving a flamethrower in his face, defending the both of them. Kate and Carter have a little back and forth, and even she doubts the believability of surviving that crash. She tells them to hang tight as they conduct a test to see who's a thing. But wait, uh-oh! Looks like someone set the lab on fire. Tampering with the blood. Kind of reminds me of something.
Somebody got to the blood! What?
I wonder if some sort of new on-the-fly test will come out of this. The crew puts the fire out, now with everyone turning on Adam, as he was the last one in there.
Are you accusing me?
I know. He's got something to hide.
What are you, an asshole? I was the one working on the test. I left for 2 minutes!
You just don't want us to know the truth.
Bullshit!
Calm down.
You don't fucking calm down! It's a goddamn fucking nightmare!
The crew explodes into a screaming match until Kate chimes in.
There might be another way. I think there might be another way to tell.
And this is where it begins to fall apart, if it hasn't already. Gathering everyone into the room, Kate grabs a flashlight and has Lars open his mouth, checking for, you guessed it, teeth fillings. She claims Lars is safe, as since he has fillings, he isn't a thing, because the thing can't imitate inorganic material. She verifies her own safety by showing some fillings in her mouth back to Lars. One by one, she checks the rest of the crew's teeth for fillings, verifying if they're human. While initially an interesting idea, this doesn't really make any sense, but I wish it did. The idea of the thing being able to imitate and transform into something biologically, using the cells from the creature it attacks and only those cells, would make sense. But here's the problem. It also imitates clothes, as set up in the original, which is not organic material. Every button, zipper, belt buckle, everything is imitated. It happens in this movie too. Kind of. In that deleted scene from earlier, we see Carl's clothes being replicated onto his body, almost as if the thing is generating them. Right? So using the excuse of only organic material doesn't stay consistent with the rules of this creature. Also, the teeth filling test is simply not a conclusive test. Not everyone has teeth fillings, and using that as a determining factor is so forced and silly. They obviously didn't want to just do the hot needle test again, as that would be too much of a ripoff, but this is that scene, just slightly tweaked and stupider.
Right now it's at least something. A way to eliminate some of us.
So I'm gonna get killed because I floss.
Yep. Sorry, bucko. Off to the corner you go. Kate walks over to Evil McGregor, who also shuts down her test.
You know as well as I do, there are too many variables.
Kate straps on her dominatrix gear, commanding her disobedient
Open your mouth!
They're porcelain.
Looks like someone's getting punished later tonight. Evil McGregor and the other half of the crew get sent to timeout, as Kate sends Norwegian Man number 5 and Lars to get the Americans and conduct the test on them too.
Smart jente. Har du en smakkontroll?
Thanks, like we didn't already fucking know that.
Open your mouth!
So then, wait, that was it? It seems like they didn't want to rip off the 82 film even more, so they subverted expectations and just did nothing. No creature attack, no concrete determination of who they can trust, just nothing. Meanwhile, the boys make it over to the work shed, discovering that the Americans have escaped underneath the floorboards. Sounds familiar. Lars seems pretty hellbent to find them, until he gets grabbed and pulled into a building, never to be seen again for the rest of the movie. Back with Kate and crew, tensions begin to rise as the four undetermined push back against their position, only to be interrupted by Norwegian Man number 5 begging to be let back in and telling everyone it got Lars. Tensions escalate to a screaming match, again, until a window is broken on the other side of the building. Peter finally turns his flamethrower on, and with the rest of the crew, finds the Americans also holding a flamethrower. The standoff ends with Derek killing Peter in self-defense. Eventually there's an explosion, which tortures Peter's body and injures Edvard. Carter then wedges his way into the captain's chair, stealing McCready's role from Kate as he holds everyone hostage with the flamethrower. He then leads the crew into the rec room, and just as everyone is about to settle down, it's revealed that Edvard has been an amputee this entire time. I mean, a thing. Oops. Everyone jumps out of their skin as this facehugger starts face-fucking Norwegian Man number 5, and it wouldn't be a Thing sequel, prequel, remake without flamethrower difficulties.
There's something wrong with it! Fuck! God damn it, Carter, burn it!
more alien-esque monster designs burst through Edvard's chest, whipping around the room and striking Adam on the ground. As Carter continues to fiddle with the flamethrower, Edvard's monster cock chest fucks Derek too. So Carter hands over the flamethrower to the only actual competent person in this film, just as Edvard evolves into a creature that looks way too glossy. The carbon footprint of this design can be found in the behind the scenes too, where an entire rig and more animatronics could have brought this creature to life. But nope. Instead, we are left with this. Edvard begins molding into Adam, giving us that creature MacReady and crew discovered from the original, who casually walks out the door just as Kate gets the flamethrower working. It disappears somewhere in the facility, so Kate comes back into the room, finding the facefucker popping out Norwegian Man No. 5's eye. This effect also has some cool behind the scenes work. I'm getting more depressed the more I have to keep repeating that phrase. Kate takes back the role of MacReady from Carter, who puts Norwegian No. 5 and Derek out of their misery. Carter meets back up with an axe for, I mean, you know why. The two search the burning building with the intent to kill and license to ill. The emergency power kicks in as Evil McGregor gets some kisses from this hellhound. How cute. And yes, they did just kill the secondary antagonist off screen. No cathartic death scenes in this movie, oh no. We get another appearance of our little facefucker friend from earlier as he crawls across the wall, until Carter chops it in half, with Kate finishing the job before it can fully merge back together again. Then for quite literally no reason, Kate tells Carter to not take the axe again.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, Carter, how else is the audience gonna know how the axe got there from the original? Everybody needs to know, goddammit. Things quiet down a bit as the two search through the rest of the building, eventually splitting up, which is just an amazing idea. Maybe this is another reason why this film doesn't really work for me. The Thing doesn't act like, you know, The Thing. It just randomly jumps out of nowhere and chases down its victims in monster form. So now the Edvard Adam thing follows Carter into the kitchen, stalking and growling like a wolf or something. With only this pussy-ass knife to defend himself, Carter is surely dead. Maybe that axe would have been a little more effective? Looking at you, Steven. But we've all seen movies before, so of course, Kate comes to the rescue and burns the thing, sending it crashing through a wall, ending up in its final resting place just where MacReady and crew will find it the next day. They witness Evil McGregor, whom Kate, Carter, and the audience know as a thing, drive one of the snowcats into the storm. This is also what deflates a lot of tension within this film too. You know exactly who's a thing most of the time. If you were to go back and look for key scenes and moments, the film literally spells everything out, and far more explicitly than it does in the original. I wonder if that's what they meant for the reshoots when they said, make crystal clear a few story beats. So now we know that everyone else is dead, or a thing, and it's just Kate and Carter who are still human. Got it. What if we didn't know if Evil McGregor was a thing or not? Adding on to the themes of paranoia, not knowing who to trust, especially from the secondary antagonist of the film, it could have been interesting. Kate having to think logically about who to trust, even someone she fucking hates. But nope, he's a thing, they know it, and now they need to load up and kill it before it can make it back to society. Yeah, sure, just throw away what made the ending of the original so iconic. Fuck it. Oh, by the way, we know Carter isn't a thing because of this little earring. I don't know if you noticed that yet, but remember this detail. They eventually make it back to the spaceship from the beginning of the film, which Evil McGregor forgot to close the front door to. As they approach, the ship begins turning on, separating the two as Kate slips through the vent shafts. Kate! Surprisingly, Kate hasn't shattered both of her legs, and now finds herself inside the iconic ship from the first film. Because we definitely needed to see that, the ship seems to be getting its engines ready, powering up to make a great escape. Carter enters the ship looking for Kate, who now wields the flamethrower, leaving Kate defenseless against this thing. I'll be honest, I think this is the most egregious CGI cover-up of them all. Did you know there was an actual creature design in its place here? Originally called the pilot, the creature design seems to give homage to the scene in, you guessed it, Alien, where the crew comes across this giant space jockey who piloted the ship. Just look at how much love and care went into this creature. The three eyes on the front of the creature's head seems to be a direct nod at the novella, whose original design when found by the scientist had 3 red eyes and a snarling mouth. But instead, they completely fucking scrapped it and threw in a pixelated, shifting Tetris 99 game.
I need them! I need more! Oh
my little friend.
Hello there. This is fucking shit. While I wasn't the biggest fan of the final design in the '82 film, it never took me out of the movie. Like, yes, Norse's face is imprinted on that creature too, but here, this is a whole other level of detritus. And apparently, completely last minute. Not just the creature design, but the entire ending too. The theatrical ending is referred to as the Tetris version. I am not making that up. While the original ending is referred to as the pilot version. In this version, Kate would enter the alien ship and find the corpse of the alien pilot of the spaceship, discovering that it had accidentally come into contact with the thing while collecting biological specimen on a zoological expedition, and deliberately killed itself by cutting its own air supply and crashed its own ship in an attempt to kill the thing. Wish I could have seen that version. Instead, again, they scrapped all that, glossed over the pilot with a game of Tetris, and threw in the Evil McGregor thing last minute, where even the director commented, and it shows, unfortunately. You can fucking tell. Evil McGregor's face splits open, sending us on yet another chase sequence. Kate crawls through the ship's vents, the thing hot on her tail, but gets blocked by a gate of some kind. Nowhere to go. She hides behind the corner as the thing just waves hello with its tentacles. You're a fucking alien creature who can literally split and transform into anything, and this is the time you decide not to.
This doesn't make any sense.
The thing just gives up, I guess, giving Kate an opportunity to grab the grenade that fell from her pocket until... Yep, nope, gonna pop out of nowhere again. Got it. She gets dragged out in the open for convenience sake, popping the grenade directly into its mouth.
Fuck you too!
With Carter coming back to save her. Nice. The explosion is so powerful that it shuts the ship down, which now reveals that it was the engines that exposed the spaceship for the '82 film, even though it was the Norwegians who uncovered it with planned detonations. Fucking whatever, man, I'm over it. Kate and Carter make it out of the site, asking what it is they should do now.
There's a Russian station, about 50 miles from here. Should have enough gas.
The two triumphantly walk back to the snowcat, making it inside, until Kate notices a damning piece of evidence.
I'll put this in the back.
Uh-huh, sure you will. So, and you can probably already guess where this is going, Kate comes back, flamethrower equipped in hand.
You know how I knew you were human? When you showed it back at base? Your earring.
Ah, yes, inorganic material, of course.
It was your other ear.
Okay, what are you doing?
Kate!
As Kate tortures the Thing version of Carter, that haunting howl rings through the Antarctic air, putting an end to the situationship one bridge at a time. She climbs into the other snowcat, trying to process the events of tonight, coming to terms that she's the only one left, and how she's gonna make it out, and... wait, is that it? What the fuck kind of ending is that? Alright, so is she just gonna go to the Russian base now? Or is she gonna die in the snowcat by herself? Why didn't he suggest going to the American base? That seemed to have been closer than the Russians, at least. I mean, oh, wait, look, a helicopter. This movie isn't over. The Norwegian that went to refuel the helicopter from the beginning returns, only to find the entire base burnt to the ground. As he searches around, we find the remains of all the victims, Thing or otherwise. Wait, someone is still alive. Oh shit, it's Lars, you didn't die. Well, not yet at least. Oh, not this shit again. Suddenly, what appears to be a husky runs out of a building, leading us directly into the opening sequences for the 1982 film E.T., the Extraterrestrial.
E.T. phone home.
So that was 2011's The Thing, a film that could have been a fun return to practical effects driven spectacle, but was sent through the wood chipper by the studio. Despite my criticisms, I don't hate this movie. I just really wish we could have seen the true potential of this project. Let's talk about some positives. The practical effects we do see are actually quite impressive. The cinematography is nice, doesn't hurt when you shoot on 35mm film and anamorphic lenses, eh? The blocking and staging mostly worked for me, given how many fucking characters Van Heineken had to work with. I really don't think it was his fault the film came out the way it did. He seemed to have a clear vision for this project based on all the behind the scenes work I had to say. sift through. All of his initial intentions were either cut or compromised, and what was left is a sore reminder of that. Van Hanegem wouldn't direct another Hollywood film ever again, only recently returning to the director's chair in the Dutch film The Forgotten Battle, made in 2020. One of the founders of Amalgamated Dynamics, Alec Gillis, was so disappointed by the decision to cover up all of his practical work that the film Harbinger Down was made partially due to this, which is an all practical effects independent horror film, basically just ripping off The Thing again. And as one commenter posted, The Thing, Cruise Night. Thank you to Colin from Red Letter Media for coining the phrase a poor imitation.
It's even called The Thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is a poor imitation, I might add.
Hey, there you go.
I obviously thought it was clever. For my next review, I'll be finishing up my Shining miniseries with the third and final episode.
I don't want to be ripped off.
Alright, that's all for now. And remember, if you discover that your partner doesn't have any teeth fillings, you know what to do. Hey, Mary, if you're still watching, my offer still stands.
Prenez une photo de mes bras, s'il vous plaît.
Just waiting on that phone call. You know what? Fuck it. Ewan can join too. I'll leave it in mind.
Merci. Au revoir.